Hi, I'm Julia and this is my shed. So we've been going quite mad on the 5-inch gauge loco for a while now, so I thought it was probably a good idea to get another garden railway loco project going, because I like to have a bit of variety. So I thought we'd have a go at this loco. So I bought this in the summer last year from a friend of a friend. And it's quite an early loco which had an early radio control system on it, 27 megahertz one. One of the interesting features of that was that this dome was actually an aerial, so you can see it's got an insulator there to insulate it from the rest of the body. I'm just going to take that out actually. That was, you can see there's an insulator here and an insulator there, and then this was the actual aerial lead going to the receiver. So I'll just scoot that back in for a minute. So that's quite unusual. Modern day 24 megahertz transmitters don't need an aerial generally. So it's a bit battered. The paintwork's not in too bad condition. This is to do with the front bogie, so we'll have a look at that in a minute underneath, but that's come off. I'll just take the bodywork off. So it's a model of a Hunslet, and this particular loco was on the Sierra Leone railway. It was number 85, so I think if I just show you it has got a nice build plate on this side. You can't really, focus isn't working very well, but yeah, it was a Hunslet loco. Unfortunately the paint's gone a bit crazed. There's been a bit of a reaction when it's been repainted. I'm not sure what's happened to that. I will be throwing away the radio control system. I might keep the servos. We'll see if how well they're still working, because they are quite old. But I've got a servo here for forward and reverse. Here's your gas tank, which is enormous. One of the nice things about this actually is it's got quite a nice water gauge, but the water gauge has gone a bit not see-through anymore, so I might need to do something with that. That's that side. Oh, right then. So on this side we've still got the old NiCad battery pack. We've got the old receiver there which we need to remove, and we've got the regulator servo. Now, as you see, that runs on this rod. The boiler pressure comes into this block, which is controlled by the front servo, and this is sort of somebody being a bit clever. They wanted to have a whistle and obviously control of the regulator, so they've put them both in the same control block. So I think if you move the regulator one way, you blow the whistle, and then if you go the other way, beyond the centre I guess, it's then speed control. So that's again quite unusual. I can't remember off the top of my head who the manufacturer of this loco is, so if you recognise it, let me know. So we'll have that as a little, no prizes or anything, but purely bragging rights competition. Let me know in the comments if you recognise the manufacturer of this loco. The job today really is to strip it down a bit. We'll get rid of all this old electronics. The thing that's slightly worrying, I've just noticed, is that the pressure gauge is maxed out, so that might mean it's been overpressured. So Typically you get that kind of thing when you've run the boiler dry and then you put some more water in it and it flash steams. You suddenly get a massive overpressure. But I don't think this has got a top-up valve, so I don't think that's what's happened in this case. I think this block here attached to the regulator block is for oil, so we'll have a look at that. This assembly is the takeoff valve goes through the body, so I assume that's acting like a stay actually, I would guess. So the takeoff is from the top, it goes across here, so that will get some radiated heat from the boiler. It then goes back through the body to here, and then behind, it's not attached to this, although that was what I thought initially, it goes behind there into the gas, which is sort of here, so you can't quite see that. Let's bring it around so we can see that. So yeah, I think I'll take the gas system off and check that that's all clean and not leaking. We'll have a look, see if we can get into the lubricator and see how we get on. Might need to give it a bit of a clean, it's not too bad. The front and rear bogies have this springing arrangement, and the one off the front, which is what this is, has obviously come off. So I need to figure out how that's held in place. It may just be held in place with spring pressure actually. I think it's the ends of this are peened over very slightly to stop it pulling through, so that should be fairly easy to fix. I think if you actually look at the valve gear now, you've probably got a good idea of who made this, because it's quite distinctive looking, I think. I'm removing the front bogie so I can repin the spring support shaft. And then it's time for a really thorough clean. I've had a bit more mail this week. I've got a sticker from Kev at Mr Factotum's workshop. Kev's got a great channel actually. He's currently working on a miniature lathe that he's built up from castings, and he's slowly adding features to it. Really, really good machining. You know, he really knows his stuff. And the other project he's doing is he's bought a sweet pea chassis from eBay. Funnily enough, I was actually thinking of bidding on it myself, but he was brave enough to go for it, and he's slowly building that up. He did actually build a sweet pea in the past, so he's got a really good build series for that. So if you want a no-nonsense approach to building model locos, have a look at Kev's channel. So that's Mr Factotum. I'll leave a link in the comments so that you can find it easily. Yeah, if there's any creators that have similar sort of interests to me, so sort of workshop type channels or model engineering or trains and things like that, anything steam related, yeah, get in touch. My email address is on the contact details. I think you can only see it if you're logged in on a PC though, you can't see it on a phone. Now it's a bit cleaner. I'm removing all of the remote control gear. Unfortunately, a lot of the connectors were very badly corroded, so I ended up cutting a lot of the wires. Okay, so I've completely removed all of the electrics from the loco. I have a feeling I'm going to have to replace everything. I had hoped I could keep the servos, but if you look at the connectors are actually corroded into this adapter, unless it's been glued in, but I'm not sure if you can see it's all green verdigris there, so I'd certainly need to replace the connectors. And to be fair, these are going to be very old servos, so I think for the amount of effort and cost, I'll put new servos in if I've got some to fit. So the basic setup is you've got a rechargeable battery pack. It goes to this switch, so the battery goes to the switch. When the switch is off, you've got the option to charge the batteries through this connector, but when the switch is on, this was the only connector I could actually take out of the receiver. That provides power to the receiver. As you can see, it's got a batteries connection. There's two servo connections, and then on this particular receiver there's a crystal. So the 27 megahertz AM stuff, you had to have a crystal, and you needed to make sure nobody else in the local area was using the same crystal. It was all a bit inconvenient. Now we've got digital stuff, everything has its own ID code, so you don't have that problem anymore. And generally the digital stuff is just so much better, it's laughable really. I quite like the servo mounts, are quite nicely done. This is the regulator one, which sits the right way up. This is the one for the forward and reverse gears, and that's actually sitting upside down. So I think that spacing's a standard size for servos. There's various different sizes, but that is it. There is standards within that, and this is all Futaba. The battery tray, receiver tray, is also quite corroded, so we'll need to give that a really good clean up as well. So this video is getting quite long now, so I'm going to stop it here. Hope you found it interesting. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.